All right, good people. We're going to talk about lock picking. There's a couple little nuances and tips and tricks that I'm going to give you for lock picking. So let's start off with the absolute basic. The basic of this is thievery. Okay, thievery is what's responsible for lock picking. Okay, it's going to give you more time and things like that. So um, just because you don't have advanced or medium thievery, that does not mean you can't lockpick. It just means that there are some advantages to having medium and advanced that you won't receive if you don't have those. Okay. The lock picking is all about the user's ability to perform the actions to pick the lock. Okay. The thievery just gives you more time and gives you slight advantages. Okay. So don't get discouraged if you don't have advanced thievery. All right, second order of business is options, mouse, mouse sensitivity lock picking. It's going to start off on 50, bring that down. And there's a good reason for it, and I'll explain that later. Okay, but you want to have your range somewhere between maybe 20 and 10, I think is about the range. My sweet spot for lock picking is 15, so that's what I lock pick on. But that choice is yours. That's something that you're going to have to play with and get comfortable with while you're lock picking. All right, the next order of business is there's three types of picks. The first one is your bobby pin slash improvised lock pick. Then you have your standard lock pick, and then you have your advanced lock pick. So improvised lock pick and advanced lock pick. Okay, if you don't know the difference of them, I'll explain it very quickly. So these are made out of bobby pins and a couple of other things, safety pins, and so on and so forth. So these are your weakest of the lock picks. Okay, absolutely the weakest. So these are the most difficult to use because they break the fastest. Then you have your standard lock picks. These come with a total of four. Okay, so these are your middle of the road lock picks. Not quite as easy to break as these particular lock picks. Okay, these are good lock picks. Then you have the advanced lock pick. These come in a group of up to six. These are by far your best lock picks. They can take more damage when it comes to bumping against the walls of the lock. These are your sturdiest lock picks, so therefore these are your best lock picks, but they're a little bit more difficult to come by. Bobby pins, safety pins to make improvised lock picks, by far easiest to find. Then it comes your standard and then your advanced lock picks. So your screwdriver doesn't matter. It has absolutely no effect at all on your lock picking. Not a single bit of, of alteration happens depending on the screwdriver you use. All right, so I've already taken the liberty of making some improvised lock picks with bobby pins. So we're going to talk about a little something called feathering. Okay, so you have your lock. As you see, it's hitting the wall there. As you see, I'm moving it to the left, and the lock is opening less and less. Okay, I'm going to fail a couple of these so you can see what it looks like. All right. It's hitting the wall because I'm failing. I'm going the wrong direction. As I get closer to the right direction, it'll open up some more. Okay, so obviously I need to move my mouse right to open this. Okay. So let's talk about feathering. Feathering is the art of tapping your F key to reduce the amount of times you hit the wall. As you can see, I hit the wall a little bit less at the end there, okay, because I was actually using the feathering technique. Okay, so let's go again. Opening, it's moving it to the left, and it's opening a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and it's open. Okay, I'm constantly tapping F so that I can feather. Okay. To the left, it's going to open more. So I just move to the left and tap F. So tap F. You have to find your rhythm, and you will eventually open it. Okay. So these are police station lockers. Pretty easy. As you can see, I got 12 seconds. Plenty of time. So moving it to the left, the lock is closing. So obviously it's going to be to the right. Just move it to the right, keep feathering, and you got it. So that is feathering. All right, I'm here at another set of lockers at the same police station because obviously I opened those four, so I can't do it again. We're going to go through a little bit more feathering, okay? You see, that's not working. To the left is where it opens. I just keep tapping F, try not to let the lockpick hit the wall. And eventually it'll crack open. You're just going to keep, you have to find a rhythm, okay? Now, the speed of the information from your keyboard to your computer, that's something that you're going to have to figure it out. I use a wireless keyboard, so there's a very, very slight delay, but it's all about learning the amount of pressure and the amount of pressure needed to feather. Okay, so let's see if we can do this. You just keep moving right, keep tapping, and eventually I'll open it. All right, we're at the final two lockers here at this police station. Just want to go over feathering one more time. Okay, so I'm going left. It's starting to open a little bit. I feather, 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 feather while I'm moving left, feather while I'm moving left, and there you go. Okay, last locker. Okay, left is where it's open. But the main thing is you don't want that lock pick to jam up against that wall. Because the minute you jam up against that wall and you don't feather or you just try to force it, that lock pick's going to break. All right, so I'm going to show you some failed attempts on my part. No shame in the game. Everything that you try to pick, you're not going to get it the first time. Well, most of us won't. So I'm going to show you some failed attempts, and there's a reason why I'm showing it to you. You're going to see some attempts at feathering, what happens when I get heavy fingered and I lay on the F too hard and I end up snapping the pick. Okay. And you'll also see me backing out of the lock and going back in. And the reason that is because I pick one side of the lock and I go to that one side. My side is the left side. So that whole left half of the lock, that's what I try. Okay. So you're going to see a failed attempt going down the left side. I failed. I come out. And the reason I come out is because I'm only going to try the left side. Okay. And when I exit out, it puts me back in the center of the lock. Okay. So there's an attempt at feathering and it works. All right. So this clip right here, this is a perfect example of feathering. Okay. So I come in, I'm going to be dead center in the lock because that's how it starts. And I'm going to slowly drag my mouse to the left, going down the left side of the lock. And if you slowly do it while tapping F very slightly, you can find where the sweet spot begins. Okay. So if you figure out where where the lock begins with very, very slight movement, then you know any corrections to pick the lock successfully is going to be to that particular side you're moving to. Okay. So once again, I'm going to start in the middle. I'm going to slowly drag my pick left while feathering the F key. Okay. I'm going to get a sweet spot. And I know, okay, this is the beginning of the sweet spot. So my feathering, I'm going to be moving it to the left because that's where the sweet spot is going to get a little bit bigger. It's to the left. Okay, I come dead center, slowly feather left. I find the sweet spot. That means I just got to feather left. Easy as cake. All right, at the beginning of the video, I told you how important it is to drop that mouse sensitivity. So I'm going to go over that really, really quick. The reason you want to drop that is because the lower your sensitivity, the slower your pick is going to move. Okay, slow moving picks mean that you can find the beginning of the sweet spot easier. Okay, because if your pick is moving too fast, you don't know where that sweet spot is unless you have good control over the speed of your hand. And, at that point of lock picking, then maybe you can keep your sensitivity higher. But I highly suggest you have low sensitivity so that you can find the beginning of the sweet spot easier. Okay, so let's go into this clip. It's got a couple failed attempts, but you'll see. See, go in, slowly moving it, didn't find it, back out, start at the center again, slowly move it, didn't find it, no problem. You're not going to win them all. Okay, same technique every single time. Nice slope, found the beginning, boom. All right, so this is the final example I'm going to show you of feathering. Once again, just a quick recap. You come in, you're going to start smack dab in the middle of that lock. Pick a side. It could be your left side, could be your right side. That choice is yours. Whatever you have room on your desk for, or whatever your wrist feels more comfortable moving in that direction. That choice is yours. You're going to have to decide it. Now, that's just get you guys started. When you become more proficient and advanced, you can go all around the lock if you like. But just to get started, I suggest pick a side. I still do it even though I've been lockpicking for a little bit, just because that's what I'm used to. It's muscle memory at this point. Okay. So pick a side, slowly feather down that side, and you will find the beginning of the lock, of the sweet spot. You find that sweet spot, then you got to find your proper pressure, the things that you need that you feel comfortable with your feathering technique, and you can feather that lock open. Doesn't matter if it's bobby pins, lockpick, or advanced lockpick. It doesn't matter. So in this clip, I'm going to go bang right in the middle, feather left, find the sweet spot, and then just slowly feather that puppy open. All right, found the sweet spot, slowly feather, feather, boom, silver lock, open, first shot.